Hello, yes, my name is Jeff, and I just wanted to share you guys my story. Um, it started back in 2013 when me and the mom split up, and um, I did everything I could to see my boys, but her and her friend um, basically was doing everything to stop it. Being said that there was no custody. Friend was telling her, and she was getting word from other people that, hey, don't let Jeff see him. He's just going to take the boys and he's just going to run off with them. I would I would not do that. I asked her for 50-50 custody. I've tried everything to work with her to see the boys. And they kept fighting me. So I said, okay, I give up. I'm not getting anywhere. So I went off to Colorado, homeless and careless. All I wanted to do was see my boys. That's it. As time went on, I ended up finding a church that really helped me out. Um, they gave me a lot of oomph. Uh, I ended up getting into a place, and I ended up having a really good job. I get a call from the DSHS worker stating that the boys are in foster care and that the mom gave the boys up in therapy. And that she's been looking for me for 3 months. But she called me. And so I didn't really understand why she couldn't call me or find me 3 months before that. So she was talking about, a transfer and having the boys come and live with me. Hey, great, awesome. And I even filled out the financial statements and stuff. And she was just saying this and saying that, and didn't look like I was going to get anywhere. So I did a bunch of research, seeing what I can do to get my boys, and come to find out a lot of the stuff that I was looking for was in Denver, an hour away. So I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to get anywhere here. So I left everything and went to Missouri to try to get some help. I couldn't get no help. I was basically in the same situation as I was in Colorado Springs. And I was actually working on trying to get a place and everything. But when I found out through research that I wasn't going to get no help with the DSHS there in Lincoln, Nebraska, I says, okay, well, I'm going to turn around and I'm going to go back. Now, mind you, Sylvia said that I need an assessment done, the DSHS worker, and she could not find one in Colorado Springs. And so when she did find one in Missouri, I was already planning on leaving, and she knew this. But she set it up for after I was leaving. And it's kind of like, why would you do that? Do you want me to stay here in Missouri? No. I'm coming back, and then you can set the assessment up there when I get there. I arrived in Lincoln, Nebraska, and for 4 months, 5 months, yeah, it was around 4 months, I tried everything. You name it, I did it. And I was hitting a roadblock every 5 minutes. Oh, well, I can't find a doctor. Oh, well, I can't do this. Oh, well, I haven't had time. And all I wanted to do was see my boys. That's it. And I didn't know why she needed an assessment done when I didn't have any medical records, criminal records, CPS records. That's the way that she wanted to do it. So I was like, okay. you know, my PTSD and my anxiety is just, it's starting to go up. And how I was able to cope with it was by taking it out on Sylvia, the DSHS worker, and doing everything I can to see the boys. Well, I came up with a business model of a vape lounge, bar, and grill. I figured if I could make this would be good for the boys' future, and they can either take the money and keep running the restaurant, bar and grill, vape lounge, or they can take the money later when they get older. And the market for it was in Denver, so I figured, so I'm not getting anywhere with Sylvia, and all she wants to do is just bash on stuff. I'm gonna go where I found research in Denver and try to start this business model up to see if I can get backers for it. So after I do get my boys, I can bring the boys to Denver and proceed on with this business plan. Well, I went off to Denver. I got 35-page business plan for this business model. And I did a lot of research, a lot. And come to find out, I had to be in Lincoln, Nebraska in order to fight them. Like full on fight them. It was complicated in between states. And this time I had research enough to do federal lawsuits and find out what laws that she was breaking and the things that she can and cannot do. So I said, okay, all right. So I came back to Lincoln, Nebraska after 6 months. And this time I was telling her, federal this, federal that. And she was still doing the same thing she was doing. But the thing of it is that when I arrived in Lincoln, Nebraska, it was right by my son's birthday. If not, it was on my son's birthday. She turned around and she set the assessment up a month later, in January of 2016. Now I'm sitting there going, are you kidding me? I would have never left to Denver if you would have set up the assessment when I got back from Missouri. Really? Okay. So, and I mean, I saw the boys and everything, but I couldn't really talk to them, and we got into a lot of trouble, just because I saw the boys for 2 seconds. And that's all I got to see. 2 seconds. That's it. Just, and that's, there was no high, there was no nothing. It was just, look. And I went in, I did the assessment in January, and Dr. Herdman said, you're a narcissist. You can't see your boys. And the judge granted it. So I'm like, what? I don't have any medical records since I was a child, no criminal record, and no CPS record, but now you want to dub me something? Just so this way you can keep me from the boys? Okay. So, you know, I asked for the meetings and everything else. Oh, now I can go to the meetings. I can go to the court proceedings. I can attend school meetings, which I only attended one because she told me the wrong dates and told me the foster mom said I couldn't go, and, you know, basically gave me a ring around. So I bought them school books and toys and stuff like that, which they never did get to the boys. I don't know if they were sitting in the DSHS worker's car or if they were sitting in the foster mom's car. I didn't know. I was getting the ring around that too. So months went on, and then the trial comes about, and I turn around and did everything I could. I got a good attorney, a good legal aid attorney, because, well, I didn't have any money. I didn't realize the extent. I mean, I realized an extent, but I didn't realize how far of the extent was that I needed like a $10,000 attorney. I couldn't believe it. I shouldn't have to come up with $10,000 for attorney to try to get my boys back when I show no reason, and I haven't even seen my boys for 5 minutes to even show them, hey, I'm a great parent. So trial came up. I mean, my lawyer has always told me, quit boxing them in trial or quit boxing them in court. You have to wait for trial. I always told him, no. It's a boxing match. I'm at the point where they're feeding lies to my boys. They're feeding lies to me. They're coming up with all this propaganda crap in court, all these fraudulent actions. I'm not going to sit here and stand by. And he just laughed. So, trial came up in August. And the foster parents come walking up to me, and they said, well, the foster mom, Melissa, says, hey, you sign your rights away. You can see your boys anytime you want. But if you don't sign them, you don't ever get to see them. I'm not taking your coercion. Put your boxing gloves on. We're going in the court right now. So she did, and she sat on the benches where everybody else sits. She didn't even get to go up on stand or anything. And we pretty much, me and the attorney, because I was able to ask my attorney questions through his ear, and he was able to reiterate them through the courts. I've told the courts many times that the state is hindering me from seeing the boys, and basically, to make a long story short, they dismissed it. Like, who cares, right? So the way that me and my attorney did trial was the GAL barely came up on stand. When she did, she tried to scrutinize me and tell me what kind of a person I am and what kind of parent I am, instead of facts. So I knew there was a bunch of lies in there. Sylvia, the CPS worker, we pretty much, me and the attorney, cornered her to the point where she was stuttering, and she ended up having to lie. It got down to me, my attorney, and their attorney, and even the doctor came up on stand, and we cornered him, and it came out, well, if I would have known what I know now, I would have let Jeff see the boys. We talked about this in the assessment. Are you kidding me? So they paid you to do that? Okay, all right. Well, I ended up losing. Of course, they just ripped my parental rights from me, and I didn't sign anything. Well, after just, finally just saying, okay, I can't do anything against the state that's got, doing all these fraudulent, all these coercions, all these lies. I can't win against that. I ended up saying, okay, I left my 2-bedroom apartment and my job. Yes, I even had a job come up on stand during one of my trials and say Jeff did not work at his job right, and that the thing with his kids was hurting him at his job, and he ended up quitting. That was, and I don't know if it's in the court document, but it should, because that's really important. Because as a court, and you're hearing somebody's boss saying that they're screwing up at their job because of their kids. Wouldn't you think the courts would turn around and be like, oh, well, maybe we should let them see the kids and screw what the doctor says? No, we're not going to do that. So there was a lot of bad crap to the point where I just said, screw it. I gave up. I was like, I'm done. You know, I'm not going to obviously win against these snakes. They're going to straight up rip my kids. And so I was going to go and live in an island off of Minnesota that had no people, just there during tourist times, and I was going to work at a motel. Well, I finally got the and I finally did enough research to where I found these groups that are great advocates that's been through this before, and I'm starting to get my confidence back to where I called the clerks to get my documentations because I'm going to take them to federal court if I can. Well, the clerk told me that they took away my rights in 2015. So all this time that I was trying to fight for my kids, and the trial thing was a lie. The judge already ordered my rights off, so, you know, I was basically done. Are you kidding me? So I'm going to see what I can do. I'm just really hopeful I get my boys back and I get the 3 to 5, maybe 10 minutes I wished that I got to see and spend and play with my boys back in 2013 when I originally wanted to, and everybody was stopping me. It's 2018. Everybody's stopping me for 5 years. All because they, you know, didn't want the boys taken from them, which I would never keep the boys from their mother. I'm not that type of a person. And the state wanted their money for the boys, or whatever the case may be. Greatly appreciate you listening to my story, and it's really hard for me, and it's taken me a lot to make this video, and I really appreciate your time on watching this. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.